Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Carr's Raiders going up against Smith's Jets. With that, let's get up to MetLife Stadium as we welcome in our guys, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. Coming to you from just off the New Jersey Turnpike in East Rutherford. We are just about set for football on EA Sports from MetLife Stadium. Tonight we've got an AFC matchup on tap between the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets. Murray the lone setback, and he'll get it up the middle. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. Tackle made by Bruce Carter. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage, and he'll get it up the middle. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Murray had the 1,000-yard season in 2015, followed that up with 788 last year. Now, also in the mix in Oakland, you had Washington, you had Richard. How do you see this backfield playing out going forward?
I think you'll see a similar combination going forward. I think that's one of the reasons that he dropped from a 1,000-yard runner to 788, because they had other options. They're able to bring in Washington, Richard. They can use different plays for those guys, a lot of versatility, and really upgrade their offense with an infusion of speed. But Latavius Murray, I think he'll still continue to be the lead guy out of that trio.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. All right, as we punch up the starters defensively for the Jets here, Charles, I want to ask you about Darrelle Revis. Some questions surrounding where he fits in going forward. Could he make a move to safety in 2017?
It's hard for those guys who are used to playing one position to make a move later, because in their mind, it makes it sound like they can't do it anymore. But think about his predecessors. Ronnie Lott moved from corner to safety. Charles Woodson moved from corner to safety. I think Darrelle Revis can do the exact same thing.
They keep it on the ground, but this time it's Murray. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Anytime a team goes on the road, there's always that little bit of fear that maybe they can be affected by the hometown crowd. But this is where game planning really came into play. They talked about it all week. Go in there, establish yourselves. Well, that run right there, that slows down the crowd and gives them a lot of confidence.
They go play action for Murray. Now Carr. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And a loose football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, David Harris. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Play action. It's Smith. And that's complete to Marshall on the crossing route. The numbers for Marshall this year, Charles, way down from 2015. Still played all 16 games, but the yards went from 1,500 to 788, and touchdowns dropped from 14 to 3.
It's always difficult when you don't get consistency at the quarterback position to get that kind of yardage as a wide receiver. And this year, unfortunately for him, he had struggles with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Geno Smith gets hurt, and Bryce Petty also did not finish the season.
On first down, this is Forte. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Looking back at this year for Matt Forte, best game came in week 2. Had 3 touchdowns, rushed for over 100 yards. Altogether, 8-13 on the season. Missed the last couple games with an injury. So how do the Jets look at that position going forward?
Well, I'm about to provide motivation for him because I know that if he hears this, he'll say, I'll show you. But I don't think he's a lead back anymore. I think the Jets need to look to get one of those guys and make Matt Forte a complimentary piece. Be a terrific third down back. He pass blocks well, he catches it terrific out of the backfield, and can surprise you running the football. I still think there's value for him. I just don't see him in the lead role any longer.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. With Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Jets in possession as we begin quarter number 2 here. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone. They go back to the ground attack here. It's Forte. And he stopped immediately there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
Malcolm Smith there for the stop.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have...
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Malcolm Smith with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. And Folk's kick is good. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
Here's Tywan Jones on the return. So quick on the spin.
He's spinning, man.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. It's a gain of 17 that time. And it'll give the Raiders a first down. Carr turns, hands to Murray. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. It's Steve McClendon that time who winds up getting him down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. And when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And this is caught. Crabtree, touchdown Raiders. Michael Crabtree, 27 yards. And the Raiders have taken the lead. And he'll bang that one through. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. New York set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National Football League. How about that veteran leadership? A big-time run, combined with some nice blocking by his offensive line, showing that the ins and outs of being a veteran still has his place in this league. His odometer is not totally turned over yet.
A minute 57 to go in this first half. We'll come back to MetLife Stadium after this short timeout. They'll come out in the pistol. Again, we'll see the pistol here. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On first down, it's Smith. And that's incomplete. Again, they were targeting Marshall there, and that'll bring up second down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball, and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. And this score will stay right where it is. On now is Nick Folk in the field goal unit for the Jets. On the right hash, officially, this will be a 51-yard attempt. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that'll get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams, so your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction, and then you have the OTAs and minicamps. You get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. Murray the lone setback. Carr going to throw. And got his man complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
And he did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. So the offense has it 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
The name of the game is always on defense, put pressure on the quarterback. And that's exactly what they've done today. It looks like they've got him a little bit rattled. That would have been the 2nd interception in the first half.
He was trying to get it to Seth Roberts. 3rd down here. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
And that's complete to Walford. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. Field goal unit not out there. They want 6 before halftime. The final shot here before half for Carr. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. It's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works.
You got to feel a little bit for the defense there. They've done a terrific job all day long holding this guy in check. But that might have been the run to break things out for him, maybe turn things around. Now he's going to have some confidence, and maybe he'll get to his normal yardage.
Little lull in the action here to go over an offseason storyline that's kind of interesting. L.A. a couple years ago, they have no teams, and now they're going to have two with the move from San Diego to L.A. What does that mean for the league and for the Chargers?
It seems like an easier transition, doesn't it, than St. Louis when they moved back to Los Angeles.
Less culture shock.
Less culture shock, less, obviously geography, the whole deal. But it's a transition is not going to be easy. Remember, they're going to go play in a soccer stadium essentially for at least the first couple of years before they share a stadium with the Rams. So that changes things. Obviously trying to create an identity in the market they haven't been in a long time. They began as the Los Angeles Chargers, but only played one season as such.
And this one hits at the one, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's second down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway. 1
receiver left, 2 to the right. From the 50, it's Smith. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Quincy Anoon with the intended receiver, and it's third down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. So he makes the grab, and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that first down pass.
On 1st and 10, Smith. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Call it a gain of 5. And that'll bring up second down. And quickly, they get to the line. Smith throwing again. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. He was looking for Quincy Anoon with that time, and it's 3rd and 5.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Dumps off to Powell. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Fresh set of downs here.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key first down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Oh, I love it when we see some basic football here. Toss, sweep, that's one of the first plays they put in the playbook. And if you're the offense, you're trying to get those big guys around in front of your runner to get him downfield. And if you're the defensive guys, get up underneath them and finish off the play, just as they did there for a loss.
And Austin Safarian-Jenkins has it. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And now a first down following that long gain. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. Sets up the screen to Forte. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Matt Forte, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Jets are going to retake the lead.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had two previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are.
They'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Leonard Williams in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Carr to throw on second down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Murray fighting, lost the football. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a third down.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it, and somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Here we go on fourth down with Carr. And this is incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Jets are going to get the football here in great field position. The Jets offensive unit ready to get going here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks in impact. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Smith's Jets. With that, let's get up to MetLife Stadium as we welcome in our guys, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Jets. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. First carry for Matt Forte. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. To throw on second down is Smith. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down. So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Now it's Smith. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. That one good for 15 and a first. So opening drive, third down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
Now Gino on first down. And he fires one incomplete. He was looking for Devin Smith that time. And that'll bring up second down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
On second down, Forte. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves him with third and just a couple. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They'll try and get it with Forte. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a fourth down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance.
And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's not going anywhere to start the night. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. A glance at the starting unit. Julio Jones, a threat on the outside, of course.
Combines great athleticism, incredible speed, and a whole lot of toughness to be one of the better receivers in the NFL.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Connects with Sanu right side. And he's brought down.
And Brandon, I think Mohamed Sanu had a nice career while he was in Cincinnati, but he really elevated in 2016 in Atlanta. The most catches for himself in a single season.
59 of them, 4 touchdowns. Really nice compliment to Julio Jones. And he was a nice compliment in Cincinnati. I don't want to say he's not a number 1 receiver, but he plays that number 2 slot well, doesn't he?
He does, and I think it's because of his versatility. He can play in the slot. He can play out wide. They can use him as a wildcat quarterback. He has thrown passes in the NFL. In fact, going back to his days at Rutgers, I think he threw 18 passes while he was at Rutgers. So you never know what you're going to get when Mohamed Sanu has his hands on the football.
And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on 2nd down. The Jets will bring in a nickel set as they try to stop this 3rd down. Third and long. It's Ryan. Finding Gabriel complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
On 2nd down, Ryan. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down. So here we go now. An extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Ryan. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Jacob Tamme, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And now out come the Jets. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
Smith, it's caught by Quincy Enunwa. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. Smith on 1st down. Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum Big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. And complete over the middle, Safarian Jenkins. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A big play there on the catch and run. And the Jets are going to get a new set of downs. They'll come out in the pistol. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Here's Smith. And this is complete. It's Marshall. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal. Smith throwing again. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Austin Safarian Jenkins. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Jets are an extra point away from tying this thing up. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So the flag is for roughing the kicker, a big 15-yard penalty.
And I'm not sure that was the time to go all out after the kicker. Plenty of time left in this game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. That'll bring up second down.
I remember growing up playing basketball. My coaches always talked about communicating on defense, making sure you talk on defense, know where your screens are, know where the cuts are coming from, who has who. Well, guess what? It's the same thing in football. Even though there's more noise out there, you can hear all the screams of screen, screen. This defense, the bench, everyone let them know what the play was, and that's why they were able to react and knock the ball away.
Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. They'll give him 8 on the play, and all of a sudden here it's third down. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They're up against a 3rd and 2 to start things out. Third and 2, now Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And a gain there of 11 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Oh, well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No, let's go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they've been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year, they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck, one of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong.
Third down, Ryan. It's caught, Jones. And he's got some space here. A big play there, Ryan to Jones. 47 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. They'll run here with Freeman. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, you know, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for a running back, isn't he?
He really is, and I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Well, wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything he does, and I think that he's going to continue to elevate his game and seek a 3rd Pro Bowl in 2017.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
A little educational piece. I know a lot of people hear 3-4, 4-3, etc. Take us through the 4-3, Charles.
Okay, 4-3. 4 down defensive linemen, usually 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends. Behind them, the 3 those are the linebackers. The middle linebacker, often known as the Mike, with 2 outside linebackers, the Sam and the Will. There's your 4-3.
Sam on the strong side, Will on the weak side.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. Dumps off to Powell. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Now a 1st down throw. It's Smith. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. That incompletion, Charles, gives me a chance to put you on the clock real quick. NFC teams last year that did not make the playoffs that might make a push this coming year.
Well, 3 that come to mind right away that we thought were going to be in 2016. Minnesota, remember the start they got off to before that didn't work out so well for them. Arizona, we thought they were a lock to be in the playoffs. In fact, many of us called them Super Bowl contenders. And Carolina, the defending NFC champs going into last season, they didn't make it. So I think that all 3 could return to former glory. I'm going to give you one way off the pace here. You ready?
Let's go.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh.
They get the young quarterback going, and that defense continues to live up to expectations. They can make a real strong push in the West.
They've got the D. You're right. They just need the O.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. And the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get hooked and let a running back get outside, because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And he's got a moonwalk. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a 1st down. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
A running play now for Forte. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. This offense is in rhythm now, just accumulating first downs and moving the ball downfield.
They'll try to run with Forte. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays.
And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Austin Seferian-Jenkins with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Jets can take the lead now with the extra point. And that one will give them the lead here as we approach halftime. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Over 1,400 yards last year for Jones. Just 6 touchdowns, but, you know, of course he had the big 300-yard game. However, when he was blanketed with coverage, he always opens things up for other guys, doesn't he?
He does, and that's what's benefited Atlanta's offense. Other guys were able to step up. In 2016, Mohamed Sanu stepped up and had his best year as a pro. Austin Hooper, as a young tight end, really developed down the stretch. And Taylor Gabriel, who had come over as a free agent from Cleveland, he really flourished, actually led the team in touchdown catches. But there's only one Julio Jones, and you want to get the ball to him as much as possible.
And he's got his star receiver.